What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Jeremy Wormy. I'm coming at you with a new installment of G Gundam, and my god, because of Velma, this has become my happy place. As much as I'm unironically falling in love with the Velma series and all things Mindy Kaling, because it gets me a lot of clicks and a lot of views and tearing it apart. Oh, I love it. And I love all the people I'm getting subscribed to the channel. It's a wonderful time. I need my Gundam. I need my Gundam reviews, and I need to interact with, honestly, something that I love so much. I will say, though, what's interesting is because of Gundam, well, not Gundam, because of Velma, an episode that I remember vividly not really enjoying and not really liking because of some of the things they could have done better. I now look on it and I say, yeah, they could have done some more here or there, but I really like it now. I'm starting to like episodes that I remember not liking as much, and I like it a whole lot more. So thank you, Velma. You did something right. You made me fall in love with Gundam all over again. Maybe I am causing brain damage watching this show so much. Anyways, back to Gundam. It's a unique episode. It's an episode about Chippity. It's an episode about training, and there's some stuff, and we'll get into it. It's mainly at the beginning. They set something interesting up that they could have delved deeper into, but they just missed the ball. I still like this episode a whole lot more. They just could have done some more work in some areas. So let's get into it, shall we? We open up on the luscious Guyana Highlands as we look upon it, and we see Domon and Rain there with the Shining Gundam. And Domon basically sets off to begin training in the area that he originally trained at. We get our narrator informing us that, hey, we're in the Guyana Highlands, and we're here because last week, Brooder basically said, Domon, you're crap at fighting, and now you need to get better. So taking that, Domon has gone back to his childhood training grounds, which he learned to fight with Master Asia. He was Master Asia's student, and this is his original training grounds here in the Guyana Highlands. So he's gone back home, essentially, to get better. Because he wants to beat the Dark Gundam, and he needs to get stronger, and he needs to be able to beat Master Asia. Before you freak out, I do like the Guyana Highland arc. Yeah. Because what happens towards the end? The very last part of the Guyana Highlands arc is some of the best imagery in this entire series, some of the best moments, and my god, I need to figure out how to play a scene without getting copyright struck, because it is some of the most beautiful moments I have ever seen in all of Gundam. An iconic scene happens, and that's all I'm gonna say. So we also then get our opponent for this week, and it's Chippity Crockett and his girls, but Chippity is going through some stuff right now, and we'll talk about it a bit, and he's kind of struggling, and I wish they would have done some more with his struggle instead of what they did. Can't go back and change time. If I could, I would tell them, hey, delve deeper into this. You said something cool up here, delve deeper into it. But that's pretty much that. Episode begins, and I believe it's Fighting Spirit, Chippity's Girls. I could be getting the name brutally wrong, and somebody in the comment section could come out and tell me, you're getting this name brutally wrong. And if I am, I'm sorry. Anyways, open up on New York. Lovely New York. It would have been, honestly enough, though, and G Gundam New York probably is safer. Anyways, we see, I want to say this is Brooklyn Bridge. I could be getting it wrong. I don't know New York that well. You know, nice sunny day, all things nice. Oh no, look, a Gundam fight between a random Gundam and Chippity. And Chippity's, actually kind of struggling. His attacks aren't landing. They're getting bounced back. The opponent keeps striking him down, and he's struggling to stay up. You see his girls looking upon him in kind of terror as Chippity's getting his butt kicked out of him, almost loses his head before Chippity starts hallucinating. He starts seeing dark Gundam cells appearing all over him. He sees the Dark Army, sees the Dark Gundam, becomes brutally terrified of everything, and starts shooting wildly, thinking he's firing at all that instead of his opponent. And in doing so, he shoots off his opponent's arms, destroys parts of the bridge, collapsing it, bringing his sector to the ground. He gets up, violently starts punching the head unit of his opponent, and doesn't stop until his girls say, Chippity, that's enough. He can't fight anymore. Your opponent's down. And as Chippity looks upon his carnage, he freaks out because of all the damage he just brought. And he's struggling, like he's having a hard time fighting now. The girls look upon him in kind of sadness. And we get this unique old man. Everyday old man, but he acknowledges what's going on. He says he knows what's happening. Girls first say, how do you know? And Chippity Girl Redhead, who I cannot remember any of these girls' names for the life of me, except Bunny. Redhead, because Bunny comes out and says, what are you talking about, old man? What would you know, old man? And redheaded one basically tells her to stop. The old strange old man says that Chippity's problem is he's lacked the fighting spirit. He has basically seen something to the point that his fighting spirit's no longer there. And he is now questioning whether or not he wants to continue being a fighter or not. This is all subliminal or whatever. And Chippity's struggling. Chippity basically has PTSD. And the girls kind of look at him in sadness. And he acknowledges, like, hey, Chippity's struggling. This is a broken fighter. There's ways to fix it, though. The only way to fix him and reignite his fighting spirit is to have him fight a stronger opponent, or a extremely strong opponent that would give him a fight, a riveting fight, one of those fights that you don't get anywhere else. And then the man gets up and walks away, planting the idea. With that, the girls start pondering in and say, hey, you know what? We'll do anything for Chippity and for America because we love being Chippity's crewmates. We love doing this as our honor of the crewmates. So they're going to figure out who to get to fight, and they already have a pretty darn good idea of a perfect opponent for Chippity. Domo and Kashu. They all say it at once, too. So their plan is to get Chippity to fight Domo and Kashu, and that's that. We then cut up back over to the strange man hiding behind the tree, listening in on them, being kind of creepy and stuff. And the strange man starts talking about how his plan's working just fine, everything's going well, and now the two lion cubs will get together and sharpen their claws as they fight with each other. Basically training to become stronger. And we are revealed that the strange man was actually Schwartz Bruder. Schwartz's strategy here is pretty simple. He's going to prepare Domon and, spoiler alert, the other members of the Shuffle Alliance to take on the Dark Gundam. His goal now is to take on the Dark Gundam, and he wants everybody properly prepared, instead of last time when everybody kind of wimped out. We cut to the New York Hotel Plaza, wherever that is, even if it exists. And for those of you who aren't used to anime, aren't used to anything like that, I'm going to fill you in on some anime tropes real quick. Just one, a simple one. Because we come to Chippity here, struggling to get inside his room for the night. He's saying, hey, the girls locked the door. Why did you lock the door? They're not coming to answer the door. And we get this shot of Chippity. Anime trope. A very easy to understand anime trope. If you understand drinking. Chippity here is drunk. Plain and simple. Easy way to tell that in anime is the cheeks. If the cheeks are rosy red like this, they're drunk. Simple enough. Not very hard to figure out. Back to the main story. Because Chippity's locked out of the room, his idea is to punch down the door. God, I love Chippity. He's so fun. Chippity stumbles into the room, plops down on the couch, and then starts calling to each of the girls to kindly bring him a glass of water. None of the girls are answering. You know, the room's actually kind of dark. No lights are on. And as we pan throughout the room, we see a note saying, Dear Chippity. Well, what's that? Chippity notices, reads it, and lights go on, and he starts freaking out. Very angry. Let's say that. Hop into the Maxter Gundam as he's on his way, saying, why the heck didn't the girls consult him before doing this? Why didn't they talk to me? What's going on? And we see the note. The note's pretty plain and simple. Ultimately, the plan is for the girls to go. They can't stand cowardice. They can't stand seeing Chippity like this and weakness and all that. So they're going to go battle Domo and Kashu, defeat him, and bring honor to Neo America. And to do things that he's never been able to do. And to be just better. Real quick, remember this is part of the plan. And then they say, hey, if you want, you can come watch us as we defeat your rival. This gets Chippity all up in a tizzy. He's heading after them because he wants to, he's pissed that they're going without him to fight his rival. And to potentially do it better than them. Wow. Look, there's character development and some character tropes that, hey, kind of actually work. These girls, who very much love Chippity, actually are using the idea of, hey, we're better than you. We're going to go beat him, even though they know they honestly can't beat him. They're doing it to convince Chippity to fight. Playing into kind of his ego issue, but it works. We cut to the Ghana Highlands. I actually really like the Highlands. Man, this looks cool. But we see Domon running around swinging the sword as he trains. He's running through the jungle, just going like... Very simple, you know. Then, as he's running, he stumbles upon a waterfall. And he starts getting glimpses of Master Asia, Master Gundam. And, you know, he gets all angry because he knows he needs to get better. Throws off his shirt, jumps into the waterfall, gets into it, starts getting swirled around and pushed around by the waterfall, comes up on shore, trying to catch his breath, and then says if he's still not strong enough. He's still not strong enough, and if he can't be able to master a waterfall, he will never be able to beat Master Asia. Basically, if he can't beat a waterfall, he can't beat Master Asia. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. You know, we then cut over to Rain, where she's like, how is him jumping into river over and over again training? She stretches her arms, yawns, and says, hey, she doesn't want to be here too much longer. The air is nice and clean, though, but there's nothing to do. So, in watching Domon train, her being bored, can't blame her, honestly, she decides to take a nap. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, right? Well, because she's passed out, nobody's there to watch Shining Gundam. But there are people there for Shining Gundam, because we cut over to the girls as they begin executing a plan to steal Shining Gundam's battle data. Now, not very often do they actually delve into what battle data is. I think they do later. Simply enough, it's just all the schematics for Shining Gundam, how it works, and things of that nature. Some of its hidden techniques that only, the pilot knows, ratios, things of that nature. And it's key for, it's hit inside information that only the pilot, the country, and the crew are allowed to have access to, or should have access to. And if anybody else gets access to it, they can have all your weaknesses. They know all your weaknesses. So the girls are preparing to go in and steal everything, all for Chippity. I don't remember what Bunny says here, and that's my bad, because the girls respond viscerally. So they go in, and we actually get this nice little flashback of who the girls were prior to Chippity. That's interesting. That's development, and we get to see the girls. Hey, almost, not every character. I will specify, not every, not all. Hashtag not all. Most of the characters in this show actually get development. There's a few characters that I don't remember getting proper development, but there are some characters that you're shocked that actually get development. Actually, there's a character in another Guyana Highlands episode that I'm extremely shocked gets development. So we cut to basically the girls' past, and for the longest time they all knew each other. They actually come from the heart of New York City. They used to actually be roughhouse people, committing crimes, riots, doing all sorts of stuff to live on the rough streets of New York. They were the bad girls, they did all sorts of crimes and stuff. They did what they had to do to survive. But they always had a dream of getting to see the colony. So one day they executed their plan to see the colony, and it almost worked. Almost. They stole aboard some cargo ship. They get all the way to the colony, and as they are climbing off the ship, they get apprehended by police. And, I think they get returned to Earth, or they get thrown in jail because they're not allowed to be there. They see Chippity. They catch Chippity's eye and all that. And they're amazed by him. Well, Chippity comes over, takes a good look at each and every last one of them, and he says something pretty simple. He likes the glimmer in each of their eyes. He likes the look of them. Well, that's probably a bad way of saying it. There's something about each of the girls that he likes, and he really admires. More than just like their outward appearance. He's seeing something in their eyes that he really likes. And he gives them an offer. Come work for him. Be a part of his team. Be a part of his crew. Simple enough. Interesting development because, well, look at it. When you compare Chippity's past, and I'll probably link something about that to see Chippity's past. Chippity was a kid who was raised by the streets, more or less. Reality, no, but that's later. Chippity was raised by the streets. He was orphaned. He had nobody, so he was a rough kid like them. He did bad things just like them. He fought just like them. But because of his fighting spirit, his push to get to the colony, he got there. So I believe, they don't outwardly say it, I believe that glint that he saw in each of their eyes was something that he used to see. The idea, the dream the major dream, that America's dream, who he once was. Now, I forgot to mention this, that something old man said. America's big dream is struggling. That's what he is. He is the dreamer, the hope, the ego. Gives them all a job. And after that, because he was the first person that ever took a chance on them, that ever actually saw them as people, that ever actually saw them as individuals, as human, they will do anything for Chippity. They will do anything to make sure that he's fine, that he's happy. They will go the distance for Chippity. That's why they stick with him. That's why they are a team. That's why Chippity has 4 very beautiful women always doing stuff for him, because they are devoted to him. Because he saved them. Never even had to. He saved 4 random girls, gave them a job, gave them a life, and they're devoted to him. That's why they want to always make sure he's happy. Wow! Character development, character growth, interesting stories, devotion. And that's also why, because Chippity's struggling, that they're doing this for Chippity. So, plan's going pretty much without a hitch. They get inside, start downloading the data, or copying the data. They get a gun, and Bunny's worried, and this one, whose name is escaping me, so Chippity girl with dark hair, that's what we will be calling her, says it's only for an emergency. It's a very last contingency plan. Cut over to Rain, who's still pretty much asleep, but then is woken up suddenly, and I think it was maybe the clicking of the gun that woke her up. I don't fully remember. And she starts going like, well, what's going on over there? So she gets up, yawns, stretches, looks tired. Wait, no. She wakes up naturally, realizes she passes out, gets up, and decides to just go to work on the Gundam. So we then, redheaded girl gets the data. We then hear, don't move or I'll shoot. And we look over, and dark-haired Chippity girl has her gun trained on Rain. A little, I think the word is contrived. Little, just so happened, just coincidental. I'll admit it. Rain randomly wakes up and goes to work. Or maybe she heard something. I don't remember off the top of my head. I could be getting this part completely wrong. But she wakes up and goes to see what's going on. Finds out what's going on. She has 2 guns pointed at her. They tell her, don't follow. Rain says, that's our data. Why do you have it? They say, hey, we're using this to beat Chippity. So, yeah, bye. Throw a flashbang so that they can escape. Rain, seeing them running, knowing that data is super important, says, you know what? F this, I'm going after you. That's what she does. Actually, very important that they're kind of setting the pieces. Man, why Rain woke up is now bothering me, because I don't remember. I think she heard something, that's why she woke up, but I could be getting that wrong. We cut to Chippity making it to the boat where the girls left it, dropping off Maxter Gundam and getting into his own core lander. Yeah, his own core lander, and using it to basically ride around. Forgot that he had a core lander. I legitimately forgot. He's riding around on the river, trying to figure out where everything is, and as he's looking around, he sees the waterfall. And looks up and sees Domon Kashu shirtless with the sword. Words. I got words, don't worry. Chippity looks up. I completely brain farted on Chippity for a moment there. Like, I forgot his name. I don't... Listen. I'm not drunk. I'm kind of retarded. Alex Jones. Anyways. looks up and terror as Domon Kashu jumps off the cliff. Because Chippity wasn't there to watch Domon already doing this multiple times, apparently. So he's seeing Domon do it now, and he's terrified. Like, what the heck? I get a moment. Chippity's looking up in pure terror as Domon jumps into the river, into the waterfall. Chippity now hiding, watching Domon. Watches as now Domon jumps out of the river and perfectly starts doing his moves. Starts just perfectly doing it as he's training, practicing his martial arts, doing interesting techniques, and Chippity at one point trying to figure out like what the heck is he doing. He then realizes what Domon's doing, because he then sees a image of the Dark Gundam. In doing that, Chippity realizes that Domon's been mentally battling the Dark Gundam this whole time, mentally preparing himself, getting stronger himself, and Chippity admiring that, noticing that Domon's deciding to better himself after losing to the Dark Gundam, after losing to Master. He is now going to retrain and get better, and that, I hate this part, but seeing Domon train is what pushes Chippity to start training and practicing again himself. And Chippity does just that. Seeing Domon training has convinced Chippity that he needs to train himself. And that's what happens. So, we get this nice little shot because they're burning. The flames of the fighting spirit have been reignited on both sides. We get this wonderful shot of Schwarzbruder as he looks upon them saying, "Perfect." Continuing, the little lion clubs have gathered to sharpen their claws. Could have used better metaphors. Anyways, he's happy that they're both training. He's acknowledging that their fighting spirits are growing. Their strength will grow from this. They'll both better each other as they fight with each other. And the sparks for tomorrow are growing as a storm begins to roll in. Because we can never have an anime without a storm. Gotta be honest. Always have to have a storm moment. Cut to the storms rolling in, lightning's flashing. We see Chippity's girls as they're all still running, and we see rain. Girls look back and they say, "Hey, that's impressive. Rain's fast and strong and is able to keep up with all four of us." And there she is. Red-headed Chippity girl decides, "Hey, you know what? We're going to split up in two teams and it'll be easier to lose her." So they do it. Rain acknowledges, hey, they just split up. That's battle tactics. And Rain keeps going after them while two of them are left to hide. And Guyana Highlands are in South America. It's partially a jungle. Gotta acknowledge that. Snake comes down. One of the Chippity girls sees it and freaks out. The other one tries to stop her. And because she freaked out, because she's afraid of snakes, Rain finds them. Rain tackles them, trying to get the stuff, and they fall down a cliffside. Now we see Sword sitting there. Don't know why, but Domon's continuing his training, running to grab the sword, just trying to get better. Swings it down upon a tree, and still just can't cut through it. Just can't do it. He's getting frustrated because, he's been training all day. Why can't he cut through the tree yet? Why? He's continuously trained. Why can't he do it yet? Which will be a growing thread throughout this. He just can't cut. Domon hears Chippity actually say, hey, you need to get a better sword there, Neo Japan. That's how Chippity responds. Words. Got him. Domon turns around and says, what are you doing here? Chippity says, you know what? I've decided I want to battle you. Battle you and make you stronger, and we can both use the fighting style and because reasons. I don't fully remember the reason of why they decided to battle, but it is unique. We first saw Chippy struggling in his fight, and now he's struggling to want to continue fighting. Then after seeing Domon training, getting better, bettering himself, Chippy doing the same thing, Chippy's decided to just do it on his own and say, you know what, let's fight. Domon graciously accepts, hop into the units, and our battle begins. And Domon's acknowledging, hey, Chibity's getting stronger. Like these aren't. He's not as weak, as strong as he was before. No, he's stronger than he was before. That's the words I'm looking for. And Chippy's more engaged in the battle. Now, this kind of goes into a point I was saying. The idea of the fighting spirit being damaged, the dreamer being no longer the dreamer, struggling to stay, hey, do I want to continue fighting or not? I wish they would have delved deeper into that. I wish they would have played more into that, questioned some stuff a little bit more, but they decided not to. And I dock points for that. There was an interesting story there, but they kind of just skipped over it. They could have just done some more. So, Domon and them, as they just so graciously continue fighting, are honestly having a lot of fun. They're enjoying this training. Much needed. We now see, just so happens that across the river in this rain is Rain. Rain in the rain. Love that. And two of Chippity's girls. And one of the girls actually hurt her leg when they fell down the cliff. Rain's doctoring it up. All better now, but can't move just yet. And Rain asks them, hey, why did you take the battle data? They kind of graciously say, hey, we did it for Chippity. We felt bad for him. Well, no, they look down first. Other two girls come down the cliff. Rain says, hey, we need to get out of here. And, like, what happened? Girls hurt. We need to get out of here. We can't get out of here. We need to finish this. Rain's pleading with him like, hey, we need to get out of here. Lightning strikes, and because of the rain and because of where they are, the cliffside that they are on falls down into the middle of the river. Now they're trapped. Rain's falling. Obviously, flooding's beginning, and they're having issues. Serious issues. Like, this is dangerous and deadly, the situation they're in right now. Trapped now on this rock, unable to move her. Girls are struggling. Bunny, the only one I can remember because she has glasses and she was a big part of number 2, pulls out a gun and says she's going to call Chippity. Redheaded one says, no, don't. We need to get out of this ourselves. Rain says, why not? And the redheaded one says she is too proud and wants to prove that she can be a great crewmate. She's doing this for the honor of the crewmate. And Rain says something very unique and very important. A Gundam crew isn't just the fighter and then the crewmate, it is both of them together. The crewmate and the Gundam fighter are one. So you need to rely on him and you need to call him over. And hearing that kind of was important for her. This whole time she's been trying to do stuff by herself to help Chippity, when in reality what she needed to be doing is to work alongside Chippity. Not for, but with. Basic idea. She's been thinking that they're two separate entities, when in reality they need to be thinking as one big group. One big team. Something that they struggle with from time to time. In the later episode I really, really love, they struggle with this again as well. Like, just issues. Dark-haired girl pleads with them that basically everybody starts pleading with her, allow her to call Chippity. And she decides, yes, let's just do it. You know, we messed up. We need his help seriously right now. Redheaded one says, you know what? Fine, do it. Cut back to the battle between Chippity and Domon. You know, he just in the middle of that battle, like they're intense. They are having fun, doing what they're doing. And as Chippity goes in for an attack, Domon blocks it, you know, the usual. Punch, block, hit, whatever. Behind Domon, a signal flare hops up, and Chippity says, hey, that looks like an SOS flare. Domon says, not now, we're in the middle of something. You know, Domon being Domon. Chippity tells him to wait up, let me take a look. And Chippity takes a look at the rocks and sees that it's his crew and Rain. Like, he needs to go help them. Just in that moment, a mudslide begins. Yep. You had to acknowledge it. You had to see this part coming. You know, you're getting flooding, you're getting massive rain, middle of the jungle, issues happening, mudslide. Now, this is a unique moment because we start getting a hint of something a bit. But let's get into it, shall we? So, mudslide happens. Everybody starts becoming concerned. Domon says, hey, he'll take care of it. You get the girls. Uses shining finger to try to blast away the wave of mud. Doesn't work. Mud keeps coming. Giant boulder comes up. Domon sees it and says he doesn't know if he can take care of it. And in that moment, before impact, Chippity starts hitting it with his fists, using his fist attack to blow it away. And Chippity just keeps striking all the little boulders. And Chippity says, hey, Domon, you need to get your head out of the clouds and do your part or else Rain will be hurt. Rain will be hurt. Domon turns around and sees Rain and kind of freaks out because Rain says, please help. And in that moment, Domon seeing Rain, Domon feeling concern for Rain, caring for Rain, all that, he is able to access his super mode. Yep. That emotion for Rain caused him to access the super mode. We'll get into it towards the end. You can probably figure out one of the keys for Domon to access the super mode. One of the strongest emotions Domon has, which does end up playing a part throughout the series, is the idea of love. Love being the strongest. With Domon now activated super mode, he uses Shining Finger again, completely blasts the wave away, saving the day for all the girls and stuff. Now realizing, hey, did he just do that? Did he just really access the super mode and save the day? Well, yes. Yes, he did. Because in that moment, I say that way too much. I need to build up my dialogue a little bit more. Schwarzbruder comes down from behind, holding the girls, because he was watching the whole time. He said, looks like he didn't need to come in and save the day for him. They were able to do it themselves. And because you have unlocked the super mode, your real training begins now. And he looks forward to seeing where you go and how strong you get. Because he'll always be watching this entire time. So now Domon knows that Schwartz will always be watching. Day was saved, but now Domon's starting to access the super mode. Still doesn't know how he did it, but we kind of are starting to get an idea of how it works. Got to have that very powerful emotion and have to have that strong emotion in that time. What kind of did it for Domon in that moment was his love for Rain. Rain is a super important key for Domon. Show should build on it a little bit more, but they do later down the road. Just Domon and Rain. Domon now ready to go, and we move on. Chippity throws... Well, let's just say it. This is the battle information from Shining Gundam. Thrown up into the air, and Chippity completely destroys it. saying, we don't need that. Why the heck did you think we needed this in the first place? Why did you get this? And they lay it out for Chippity. Hey, you know, we did this for you. We couldn't care. No, that's not the word. They didn't like seeing Chippity torn up that way he was. They didn't like seeing Chippity in the position he was. And it wasn't because they were like disgusted or anything like that. They don't like seeing him sad. They don't like seeing him like that. So they wanted to get the old Chippity back, get the Chippity they know and love back, get the happy Chippity back. And it touches Chippity, but he's still annoyed that they went out to basically cheat. And they apologize. And redheaded one takes on the blame. She says, hey, she's leaving the crew because it's all her fault. And Chippity says, where the heck do you think you're going? You're a part of the team, aren't you? Stick around. You are an important part, after all. And that's an order from the Queen of Spades. And seeing all that, seeing that, hey, he still loves them all, you know, loves them deeply. I don't know in what way, but let's just admit it. He loves them. They're all happy to see their Chippity back, see him happy, smiling, the Dreamers back in action. And that's pretty much that. Rain acknowledges, hey, it's kind of nice to see Chippity this way, see all things work out. Domon says, yep, it's now time to get back to training. And that's that, folks. Not a whole lot to it. Man, still try to come in late. I did it in 41 minutes. I gotta say, my biggest gripe about this episode is just they could have done more with Chippity's depression, PTSD, whatever you want to call it. They could have done a whole lot more with that. And because they didn't, I'm not very happy. Happy about that. Well, not to the point that I hate the episode. There's still stuff I like. I like the development of the girls. I like the fact that the team gets back together. I like a lot of that. I just wish they would have done more with Chippity's lack of wanting to fight. There's something there that you could have delved into. You didn't. Don't like that you didn't, but it's not breaking anything that you didn't. It's just, hey, do a little bit more. All that said, I like this episode. Especially after watching Velma. My God, this episode's so much better after Velma. It's ridiculous. And I admit it, I had brain farts throughout this episode. I'm tired. It's been a long day. But I want to get your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it out with your friends. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, including my Velma videos. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.